Sometimes as a mom, I find that I just have a day that I need to reset the house. I've been spending a lot of time with the kids, maybe, or maybe we've been out of the house doing activities, just been busy and haven't had time to give the home the attention that it needs so that we can all function well and have a clean space. And that's what's going on today. This was a Saturday morning. So we weren't trying to do school. The weather was beautiful, so the kids were playing outside. My husband was working on a project outside. And so I was able to just take the morning and do some cleanup work. I like to always start in the kitchen because especially after breakfast is over, there's things to be put away, dishes to be washed, and I always can think clearer when my kitchen is clean. The rest of my house sometimes can suffer for longer, but I find that I need my kitchen to be clean for me to really feel like I can do anything else. So that's where I am starting off here. Like I say, this last week we had been really busy doing, excuse my voice, I've got a little bit of sinus stuff going on. But this previous week we had been just busy and going a lot and doing things. And I even find on the weekdays when I am teaching school with the kids, due to the amount of time that it takes for me to be able to teach them and be available as they need help, I find that I don't really always get to give the house the attention that it deserves each day and keep up with the day-to-day tasks. The school and the kids take priority, and so things just kind of will sit. And I used to, on the weekends or on the days that when my husband would be home from work, I would just fully be able to say, okay, I'm just going to do things with my family. I'm not going to do anything in the house. I'll do the house another day. But as the kids have gotten older and our days have just kind of changed the way they work because of school and the kids' ages and whatnot, it has made it to where I have learned to really appreciate Saturday and Sunday, the days that I'm not trying to teach school, that I can just say, okay, breakfast is over, you've done your chores, now you'll go outside and play or go play in your rooms, whatever, go entertain yourselves. I am going to clean and I'm going to do some picking up, and it might be laundry, it might just be some sweeping. It depends on the day, but like I say, on this given day I had extra time, so that's what I did, and it made me feel a whole lot better by the time I was done. But like I say, I'm starting out in the kitchen here. I like to always wake up in the morning to a clean kitchen. I have tried to make myself do whatever dishes or cleanup work in the evening that needs to be done so that when I wake up in the morning, the kitchen is clean and I can start out with a clean space. Because if I wake up in the morning and I walk out into the kitchen area and I see last night's mess that I never cleaned up, it makes me that much more overwhelmed in the mornings. Then I am finding myself more frustrated, having a harder time. I need to have space to be able to fix breakfast, whether breakfast is a simple breakfast or involved, it doesn't really matter. So I have been trying to really set the habit for myself that I clean up the night before. Last thing, even if sometimes it's after the kids go to bed, I am going to take the time to clean the kitchen so that the next morning when I get up, all I'm having to do is make breakfast and we can move on with that particular day. thought I would explain my method here. It might or might not make sense. So, as for our home, this dishwasher that is here, we do not use it as a dishwasher. It does run, it does function, but it doesn't do a very good job. I have to pretty much wash the dishes before I even can put them in the dishwasher and depend on them to actually come out clean. And even then, sometimes I have to take out the ones that didn't come out clean and hand wash them anyways. And because of that, I just don't run the dishwasher most of the time. I use it as a drying rack. And it actually is really handy that way, because then I don't have to have a drying rack on my countertop, and I can just fill the dishwasher up with dishes. And the only downside really is the fact that because I do that, my dishwasher has to stand open most of the time so that the dishes will actually air dry. But other than that, I really like getting to do this. But that's why, as you're watching me here, I am actually washing the dishes. I'm not rinsing them for the dishwasher to run. It's just the way it is. When we moved into this house, this is the dishwasher that was here. I kind of think this is the dishwasher that was put into the home when the mobile home was put together. It is about 25-year-old mobile home, so there's probably a reason why the dishwasher isn't real great. But that is something that just isn't a huge hold up for me. I have lived most of my life in a home that didn't have a dishwasher. Most of my childhood, we didn't have a dishwasher. And then when my husband and I got married, our first house that we lived in did not. And so I've just kind of been used to washing dishes. And for me, dishes are actually kind of therapeutic. When I get to just stand there and there's not, when there's not a whole lot going on around me, and I can just stand there and wash dishes and let it be quiet around me. It's almost therapeutic to get to stand there and look out the window and scrub the dishes. So I don't mind doing dishes. So this really, it takes a little extra time versus just being able to throw them all in the dishwasher and start the dishwasher. But I don't mind it. And then I don't have to wait on the dishwasher to finish before I can use that dish again. I can just pull it out and dry it with a towel if it's not already dry. But they really do dry pretty quickly. So anyway, that's why I wash the dishes that way. It's just a choice that my husband and I have made to not spend the money on a new dishwasher, because I really don't mind doing the dishes. So that just makes it that much cheaper on us, and that's just one less appliance to try to keep up with. This area of my kitchen over here, it doesn't look real, it's kind of organized chaos, honestly. This is where I call it my fermentation corner. I haven't talked about it a whole lot in my videos yet, but I do a lot of fermenting, whether it's not just the sourdough, but also I make our own sauerkraut. I make kombucha, if you're familiar with that. It's a mushroom tea that has to ferment, and other things like that. And so this corner is just a good spot of countertop space where those items sit. And so that it looks cluttered. I would love to have a beautiful aesthetic way to store these things, to do these things, but I have a nice big kitchen. This kitchen in this house is wonderful, but maybe I'm just not skilled enough to know how to organize it well to make it where I don't have these things just sitting on my countertop. But anyway, this area of my kitchen is pretty much where my fermenting happens. I keep the bread that is made sitting over here on the countertop. We go through it fast enough that there's I reach for it so often that it lives on the countertop, and that's okay. So that's this area. I'm going to move things around and wipe the countertop off, but it's not really going to get a whole lot clearer because those things just sit there, and that's okay. I think sometimes I even watch other people cleaning their houses, or I see other people's houses and everything is so neatly organized and it all has a place, and that's beautiful, and I appreciate that, and that's so nice to see. But sometimes that's not reality, and this is our reality. It's clean, it's functional, but it's not always the most beautiful space. And the same can be said of this cabinet space that I'm cleaning now. This is um, across the kitchen from where I was just working, and this is our catch-all. The door to our house, the side door that we use all the time, is over to the left. And as we come in, this is where my husband puts his stuff from work. This is where my purse sits. Those sorts of things that just, they come in and they need a place to go. And so this countertop frequently gets cluttered. I'm organizing there. I always have a pile of things that need to go to somebody else's house. Usually there is a pile there that needs to go to my mom's. We're always having, she has a pile at her house usually, and I have a pile at mine. So we always are changing out, whether it's leftover dishes or a book that somebody's sharing or something. And so again, it doesn't look real aesthetic, but if it's sitting right there, then I remember when I see her, oh yeah, I have things to give you. So I guess I want to remind you all that not everything we do has to be beautiful and aesthetic. It can just be clean and functional. So this countertop is is where we keep our fruit and our things like that, but it also is the catch-all. And so just trying to keep it organized and let it do what it needs to do in a way that is helpful for us. Maybe one day I will remember to take before footage, but this is the after. This is a much cleaner, more organized space. I felt a whole lot better now that the kitchen is clean, and I can move on to other things in the house that I needed to get done. And so from here, I'm actually going to go to the dining room, or our dining area, and clean off the table and sweep and that sort of thing in here. You will notice that, yes, that is a tarp underneath my dining table. So we recently, I say recently, it's been about 6 months ago, we moved the dining table out of the room that it was in when we originally moved into the house. One of the areas that had the linoleum floor, we had the dining table in there. That was our dining room. But as our family has grown and we got a bigger table, we frequently have, my parents will come over and eat with us, or I have some other family that live close. And whenever we would have company, it was just we realized how much of a challenge it was for everybody to get around the table in that smaller room. And it just really no longer was working and serving a good purpose. And so we decided to move the table out here into more kind of the living room area. Mobile homes are put together really interesting. So this, I think, actually was originally intended to be the dining area, because you'll notice that's a chandelier above the table that was in there when we moved in. And the built-in china hutch is over here off to the right in a corner. And so I think this area was intended to be the dining room, but it's carpet. And so that was never a real practical option for us. Again, they put carpet in really weird places in mobile homes. But anyway, so when we decided to move the table out of the space that it was in and to this part of the house, we knew that we couldn't just move the table and let that be it. So we put this tarp underneath the table for now. Like I said, this has been here for about 6 months, and we were just waiting for a time when we would be able to purchase flooring and my husband would have time to install it so we could put hard floors underneath there and pull the carpet, and also the flooring in my kitchen and the old dining room, which has now become our schoolroom. That linoleum had a hole in it. It needed to be replaced. So we knew this was something that needed to happen. It just had to wait until we were able to do that. And I am excited to say that that is the last footage that y'all will ever see of that beautiful blue tarp underneath my dining table, because here over the holidays, while my husband has been off work, we were able to do that. He went and bought the flooring and he has worked very hard, and I now have beautiful laminate flooring in that dining area all the way across my kitchen and in the schoolroom, and it is absolutely fabulous. So it was worth the wait. I am very thankful that he was able to do that. He's very willing to do these kinds of projects. He's very skilled in these ways, and I appreciate that. And it was much needed, and like I say, it's amazing. I'll have to show y'all that next time I film an updated cleaning video or something, let y'all see what that looks like. But it is really beautiful in there now. So moving on from there, just picking up the living room, these blankets over here, the kids are always grabbing in the mornings to snuggle with on the couch when they wake up. And they do know that when they're done with them, they have to fold them and put them back. And they do a pretty good job. But, you know, little kids, they fold blankets, and sometimes it just looks neater if I just every now and then, I'm going to go refold those. But I try to let them do those things and not always just go behind and say, well, you didn't do that good enough. So I really don't fold these blankets very often. I just chose to today to make it look that much better in here. And this is one of those pillow blanket things that, honestly, it's a little bit hard for the kids to fold it up, because you have to know just how to fold it to get it all to curl up back in there, right? But the kids really do help a lot in the house with a lot of the chores. They are very capable. That's been something that I have even learned, is that originally I would have thought, a 6-year-old can't really do that many chores. They're too little. No, they can help with actually quite a bit. And even my 3-year-old is really good at helping with the housework. And this is the room that used to be our dining room. So it was right as you come in the door. I think probably was originally intended to be a mudroom or something like that. But as we have moved the dining table out, I was trying to decide what do I do with this space? I have this room now. How do I utilize it? What do we put in here? How do we make the most of it? And it has become our schoolroom and also my sewing room. So in a minute, I'll move the camera and you can see how I have the school stuff set up. But I moved my sewing machine table in here. It used to sit in the living room, and it is just a whole lot better in here. Now it kind of has its own space. The ironing board can be in here and can stay set up. I don't have to always take it down. And it's been really nice to have a little bit of extra space to be able to leave those things and them not be in the big middle of where we're trying to be. So this room has been kind of fun for me to be able to really kind of think about how I want to use it and how it can serve us well. And having this space for school has been really handy. There's a full-size desk in here you'll see in a minute, and then I have our bookshelf that has all of our school books on it in here as well. And that way, when it is school time, everything is kind of all in one place. And my older kids each have a little bit of their schoolwork that they can do without me. So I just have to kind of show them what to do, and then they go do it. And so this gives them a space that is quiet, that they can be away from all the other activity in the house. And it's just been a really great thing. And so it's been kind of neat to be able to rearrange this and use this space that way. And it's been a really good solution. And I will also add that this table, the little table right there, is where the kids, play with Play-Doh and stuff like that. And it's nice to have that on the hard floor. It used to be in the living room, and so I would have to deal with the carpet and was, concerned about if they were painting, things getting spilled. And now it's nice that they have a hard floor area, and I can let them do those things, those activities, and not be as concerned about the spills. So it's been a good solution. But anyway, that is where I am going to finish up for this morning. At this point, it was time for me to fix lunch and move on and do other things besides cleaning. But thank y'all for joining me, and I will see you next time. Bye.